And the improving South Florida economy has created an uptick in divorces as couples can now afford to split. So coming up next, Business Report producer David Weir talks with our show's legal editor, Peter Ticktin, and how he handles the sometimes unsettling situation of divorce.
Well, you know that my background is in general litigation, including family law.
Right.
We built our firm mainly on mortgage foreclosure, but now going forward, we're doing far, far more divorce cases. And we find that by doing things where we serve so many more people,
right,
we're able to do things more effectively and more efficiently. The way we prefer, you know, the battles that people have in divorce cases, very often they're actually even avoidable. It's funny how things work with divorce, because before the divorce or while the divorce is ongoing, people feel that they have to really battle it out. Yeah. And then when the divorce is over, you know, and let's say in this case, a husband is fighting to get more visitation time for the children. Then after the divorce is over, very often, and maybe even usually, it reverses itself, and the former wife now is complaining that the former husband isn't picking up the kids enough. You know, yeah. So many of these things should be worked out. A lawyer, a good lawyer in family law is more than a lawyer, he's a counselor. And that's what they call us, counselors. Yeah. And we have a responsibility to bring as much peace to that family, especially for the sake of the children, than just to say, okay, let's really engage and fight this person who once was your best friend and now is your worst enemy. Let's not go that route. Let's see what we can do to make it more of a business decision, more of something that you can live with.
Well, what do you do when you want to diffuse? You know, there's a lot of bitter, a lot of anger at the very beginning of these things.
Right.
You know, and they want to really rip their throats out of the opponent, so to speak.
Well, the thing that drives me crazy is when I get a lawyer on the other side that fuels the anger. If you see, like for instance, that your lawyer wants to send a nasty letter to start things out against the other side, you know, saying, I demand this, I demand that. Put yourself in the place of your spouse, and how do you think that your spouse is going to react to that? Yeah. You know, if it's to be war, why?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, at one time you were the best of friends. At one time you loved each other, and you had children together. Yeah. I mean, your lives were united. So, you know, the best way is to make it the most fair way and cut those legal costs down and legal expenses, because believe me, there are a lot of lawyers that make a living out of inflamed situations.
But Peter, you know, some of these lawyers take advantage of the old adage, hell hath no fury.
As a woman scorned.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, and they can really explode that into a major, major explosion.
It's true, and there's no.
And the meter's running while we're doing it.
And the meter's running, and if let's just say in this case it's the husband that's the supporting spouse, and the wife that's the impecunious spouse, the one without the money, which is usually the case. Well, you know, yes, you can really hurt your husband. You can take more and more money from him. Acting for wives, so often we get temporary relief. We get fees that are paid to us in the middle of the case, not just for us. But if it's going to get really bad, then we need accountants. We need investigators. We need all kinds of monies. And then, yes, if you really want to hurt the person that's the father of your children, and you really want to teach him a lesson, because that's in your mind and that's what you want to do, you can hurt people in divorce cases, absolutely.
Well,
especially the kids, though.
Well, you're the type of guy that diffuses stuff. I'm sure if a spouse comes in and says, Peter, I want to really wreck this person, what do you tell them?
Well, I'll ask them why, and ask them to look at the long run. You know, I learned this lesson really from one of my brothers. You know, bless his soul. When he got a divorce, I advised him the standard advice, which is give her as little as possible, and you can always be generous. Yeah. And he disregarded my advice entirely. He was generous. And for the rest of his life, he had no problems. Even after that, he and I and our families would go to his former wife for Thanksgiving. You know, never a problem visiting the children, never a problem with either side denigrating the other, which harms the children's self-identity. So if that were to come about, I would want to know exactly, why do you want to do this? What are you doing? They're now in something where how many times is a person getting a divorce in life? and usually one or two.
Right.
We deal with hundreds of these on an ongoing basis. We understand the system, we understand the pitfalls, and it's our duty to guide them and to get them out of that knee-jerk response of wanting to cause harm and pain.
All right, Peter Ticktin, a peacemaker in a divorce, and the legal editor of South Florida Business World. God bless you. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you so much, Dave.
All right,
really
thanks,
my pleasure.
Peter.